Hi guys, welcome to this set of videos. What we're going to be doing here in this set of videos is they'll follow along with the notes that are going to introduce us to transformations. Now, in geometry, being able to move figures around on a coordinate plane or not on a coordinate plane, being able to perform transformations is going to really kind of be a major topic in geometry. And so much so that we will actually have an entire chapter dedicated just to transformations. And actually that's coming a little bit later. What we're going to do right now is just kind of introduce you to this idea of transformations to give you a little bit of background knowledge so that when we get to that chapter on transformations, we've already been kind of thinking about transformations, the types of transformations there are, as a jumping off point for when we really get into transformations and moving geometric figures around in that chapter that'll be titled Transformations. All right. So again, to sort of help us focus and direct our learning in this set of notes in these videos, we have an essential question. This is the question that you should be able to answer by the time you get done with this set of notes and watching these videos. And that is simply, how can you describe transformations in a coordinate plane or using algebra to represent our algebraic representations and using words. So transformations using algebraic representations or just describing, using words, writing a statement. How did this transformation happen? This transformation is a translation. This transformation is a rotation, right? That kind of stuff. Can you recognize them? So that is our essential question. And again, to help us answer that essential question, by the time you get to the end of the notes, some things that you'll need to be able to do, some objectives, learning targets, we'll call them objectives, tasks that you need to be able to complete in order to help you answer our essential question, what we want you to know by the end of this set of videos. And they're simply this. You guys will need to be able to form transformations first using coordinates, and then you'll need to be able to describe both rigid and non-rigid motions or transformations. All right, so these are the things that we're going to look at as we go through this set of notes in these videos, starting with we'll perform some transformations. We'll actually do some. And then finally, to kind of finish things, wrap things up, we'll talk about rigid and non-rigid motions, and then we'll have you look at some. I'll give you some rigid or non-rigid motions, and we'll ask you to describe what's going on, right? That part there that says using words in our essential question, how can you describe a transformation just using words? So let's go ahead and jump right into this. First, let's talk about a transformation, all right? Here's what a transformation is. Transformation is simply going to be a function. It's an operation that we will perform on an object or a figure. Transformation, a function that we'll perform on an object or a figure that changes its position, changes its shape, and or changes its size. So a change in position, a change in shape, or a change in size. And that can be represented by some sort of function, right? What we'll call a transformation. All right, so real quick, let's run through these. I'll show you exactly what I mean. Let's just say we start with the most basic figure, a point. I give you the point A. We're going to call that the pre-image. Your starting point, what you're starting with will be the pre-image. In this case, point A. My transformation will move my pre-image to another location, or it'll change the shape of my pre-image, or it'll change the size of my pre-image, right? A transformation can change the position, shape, or size. In this case, I've taken my pre-image A and I've moved it. I've changed its position. I've shifted it over to here. So we go from the pre-image, we perform a transformation to get the image, and it will either move it, change its shape, or change its size. All right. So T will represent the transformation. Pre-image is what you start with. Image is what you finish with. I'll talk about some of that nomenclature there in a second. Since the pre-image was A, the image will be what we call A prime. It's just putting a little sort of dash, a hash mark, indicating that it is the image after the transformation. We'll talk more about that in a second. Pre-image. It's what you start with. It's the input. It's what you're plugging into the transformation. You perform the transformation. The image is what you get back out. It's the output, right? So you put something in, transformation does its work, spits something back out. I plug in the point A, the transformation does its work, spits back out the image A prime, all right? Same, that's what is going to be happening here, all right? So, a couple ways of describing this, and we'll do an example just to really sort of help solidify it. Real basic example, I have the point A. Point A, all right, a point on a coordinate plane has to have two coordinates, the x and the y coordinate. So I have point A, this is my pre-image x, y. Let's just say, for example, just to help us sort of understand what's happening here, let's just say, for example, we'll do something easy. Let's say that A is at the point 1, 1, 1, 1, right? So point A can be any point, x comma y, we'll just do something easy. Point A is at 1, 1. Now, we're going to perform a transformation. T to represent the transformation, and then you're going to get directions, A and B. All right, A and B are going to tell you what you're doing. A will always tell you what to do to the x value. B will always tell you what to do to the y value. Okay, so let's just say, for the case of my example problem, our transformation is going to be t, that's my transformation, and it's going to be minus 2, comma 4. Okay, so A applies to the x value, B applies to the y value. So I have an x and a y. My transformation is negative 2, 4. Okay, so here's the way it works, all right? To get the image, going from the pre-image, you plug that into the transformation, and the transformation does its work. What's the work it's doing? It's transforming x by A, and it's transforming the y by B, right? That's the work it's doing, and then it spits back out your image. The output is the image. Here's how it works. A prime then would be x plus A, y plus B. Okay, let's do that. So my A prime would be, well, x plus A. Well, I have a 1. My A is a minus 2. So 1 plus a negative 2. You could just simply write that as 1 minus 2. Right? That's performing the transformation. Great, here we go, keep going. Then it is y plus B. Well, my y is a 1. My B is a 4. 1 plus 4. Right? Do that. Okay, so what do we get? A prime is going to be 1 minus 2 is a negative 1. 1 plus 4 is 5, right? And here we go. Let me show you what this looks like. I'll throw a coordinate plane up here for you guys real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Different colors. My pre-image, what I started with, what I plug into the transformation, 1, 1, right there. That's A, right? That's my pre-image. I plug that into the transformation, minus 2, 4, right? That's the work the transformation's going to do on my pre-image. It's going to give me back an image, right? My image is A prime, which is at negative 1, 5, all right? Negative 1, 5. Minus 1, 5, that's right up here. Oh, sorry, I meant to change the color. Right there. That's A prime. Now, what was done to it? I went from my pre-image A to my image A prime. And to get there, I performed the transformation T that was negative 2, comma 4. Right? So I went from my pre-image to my image using this transformation. And guys, please look at how simple this is, right? This is simply the change in x and the change in y, so that I changed the position, right? My pre-image was at 1, 1. Now it's at negative 1, 5, right? That is going negative 2 in the x direction. Minus 1, minus 2. Positive 4 in the y direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? These just simply represent the change in the x and the change in the y coordinate to change the position of my pre-image to get my image, right? That's it. That's all we're doing. It's just that simple, all right? Now, a couple of just small little details here about kind of, again, geometry is its own language, and you need to be able to speak and understand the language. So here we go. Transformation T moves point A, my pre-image, to point A prime, my image. Function notation would be to write it performing the transformation T of A. So I perform my transformation on my pre-image A, and when I perform the transformation, I get out A prime, the image. So T of A, the transformation on A, gives me back A prime. Function notation if you wanted to. You could also say, we will say that T, the transformation, maps A, my pre-image, to A prime, which is my image, right? So all ways of saying the exact same thing, and we'll use that nomenclature and that verbiage regularly throughout the rest of the example problems. So here's what we're going to do. Head on over to the next page of the notes. We'll try a few of these together just to get some more practice. I'll meet you guys there.